and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another episode of Mr. J's Big Book of Movies, where my quest is to find the best movies in the land to put into my Big Book of Movies. What does it take to get into the book? But first, what is the Big Book? The Big Book of Movies is a personal collection of movies that I feel should be immortalized for what they are. What does it take to get into the Big Book? That's what we're here to find out. For today's show, we're going to have to go back in time a little bit. Back to a time where animation was fully hand-drawn. And today, we're looking at a movie that's kind of forgotten. Back when rainforests were being put into attention and, we all wanted to help save the planet. I'm talking about Fern Gully. Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, was released April 10th, 1992, and was directed by Bill Croyer. I don't know. Anyway, despite the fact that there's no actual incantation or mentioning that this is an actual rainforest, the rainforest of Fern Gully is under attack by human beings. Now, one thing that's interesting about this movie is it is a lot like Avatar. And the creators of this movie actually sued Avatar for copyright infringement and blah, 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 blah. And obviously they lost because Avatar is still a movie. But after seeing it, I was like, hey, there's some real striking similarities to this. And we could go ahead and look at those later on when we get to the 5 categories. Starting off at the gates with the Rewatch Factor, I give the Rewatch Factor a score of a 3. This is a perfect TV movie because it's only an hour and 16 minutes. So it's not even a full 90 minutes. The problem is if you miss 10 seconds, you miss a lot of the movie. So it is something that you're going to have to see start to finish and not jump in on the middle. I mean, it is an animated movie. It is a children's movie. So you can piece together what's going on, but miss that little piece of information and you might get lost. So now with the storyline, I give storyline a 4 because it's not quite Academy Award material. It's a cute movie. It goes very fast, but it's not there yet. But it's higher than a 3. So I gave storyline a 4. Just the main point, a human being is shrunk down to the size of fairies to be shown the life in the forest and how their actions are destroying the rainforest. Despite the fact that it was never called a rainforest in the first place. And then when he's put back to regular size, he feels he needs to make a difference. It's at the end of every single movie where we destroy the earth, we always need to make a difference. So back in 1992, where we were just learning to save the earth, it wasn't as cliche as it is now. So by all means, I do give storyline a 4. So with characters, this was really tricky. So they are very generic characters. And you only learn the name. Well, you learn everybody's name. But just a few are actually repeated. I mean, you have the main female character, Krista. You have the main male human character, Zach. You have the annoying baddie Coda. You have the evil dude, Hexus. And then you have the annoying good character, Magi. And it's spelled Magi, so I don't know why it wasn't Magi or Maggie. I don't know. It's like magic without the K. I don't know. I didn't write the movie. Anyways, so you do get to know these characters and you do sympathize with the characters. And because of that, I give the characters a 4 because you see the character development, you see the change in the characters, you know, and how they become a different person from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, and what little time they have to do it. So no Oscars are being passed out here, but I do give characters a 4. My executive producer, Luna the Cat, wanted to weigh in on the appearance for this week's show, and we agree that the appearance is a 4. Now, the entire movie was hand-drawn, so this was way before CGI, and it looks beautiful, it looks great, and for this not to be a Disney movie and having this much charm to it, it deserves its props, you know. I just really hate the fact that 80s and 90s movies that were animated really didn't get the credit that they were due because of the monster that Disney was. But, you know, here on Mr. J's Big Book of Movies, we're going to give you the thumbs up that you're due. Enjoyment-wise, we both agree that Fern, Gully, The Last Rainforest receives a 5. This is a very adorable movie, and I don't care if you're 6 or 66, you're going to see the charm in this movie. It's, you know, an unspoken song. The actual songs that were sung in the movie aren't ones that, you know, they were specifically made for the movie, and you'll never hear them again unless you watch the movie. But there's a lot of charm in this, and it receives its due. So I saw this movie when I was a child, and I had no idea what it was about, and I was like, hey, maybe I could do this for the show. And rewatching it, I don't remember anything except the handshake scene. And that's about it. I really didn't remember what anything was about. And I'm actually glad I got to go ahead and re-look at it and see this is a pretty charming movie, especially not for a Disney movie in the 90s. Alright folks, we know what time it is. At this time, we have the 5 categories, and add up those 5 categories and they equal the score, and that score equals a grade. Starting at the top with the Rewatch Factor receiving a 3, we have the storyline receiving a 4, we have the characters receiving a 4, we have the appearance receiving a 4, and we have the enjoyment receiving a 5. The total of that is a score of a 20 and the grade of a B. And as far as getting into the Big Book of Movies, what was that? What did you say? Okay. We don't think it's going to get in. And I know I keep saying that this is an unsung movie and it doesn't receive its props, but I feel it was good for its time. And it's a nice thing to reflect back on, but I don't think this is something that is going to stay in my heart and needs to be immortalized. Well, that's about it. You can catch Luna and I every Saturday here on Mr. J's Big Book of Movies. You can check me out on my podcast, Eye for an Eye with Mr. J. New episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Check out our Facebook fan page at I for Mr. J. Check out our Twitter page, I for an Eye, spelled just like the show. And as always, leave comments, concerns, any type of information, things that you want to see on the things that you want to see on the show, things that you don't want to see on the show. You know, put it on there. I don't know unless you say something. And with that, we're out of here. And as far as I'm concerned, this chapter is now closed.